me online this time. Must have a poor connection live stream here. Hopefully it'll get better. This video is going to be shout out for channel members, and for people that are part of this channel, I'm going to do your shout outs. Also, shout outs for new people that come in. And question of the day is, do you maintain your computer? Do you take care of it to keep it running good? Hopefully I'll get an answer for that by the end of the video. And if you're new here, I'm Mike from Mike's Computer Tips, and I help people have a better computer experience with their computer, laptop, desktop. We talk about maintenance, we talk about security, we talk about connections, we talk about settings, talk about making your computer faster. We talk a lot about maintenance, doing backups. So, anybody that joins is going to have a thrill. I do have a keyboard in front of me because I have my computer on in the back. So, we talk about OBS, and we also talk about software, free software.
Hey guys, I'm going to teach you how to use OBS.
Hey, SBA Electronics. Welcome, my friend.
Right now, for views and
please give me the thumbs up. I appreciate it.
Now, real quick, this will work with Streamlabs OBS as well as OBS Live.
We are chilling out. We have SBA Electronics in the house. Always appreciate you. You know that. Great supporter. Anybody that comes in here or watches this video on the replay, make sure you add my friend SBA Electronics and make him your buddy also. I'm very curious if people maintain their computer, take care of their computer, and do anything to their computer, or they just use it until it breaks and buys a new one. There are people like that. I see all kinds of people, different types of people in my business, computer repairs. So, that'll be the topic, along with channel shout-outs. And the first channel, of course, is SBA Electronics. Great supporter, great friend of Mike's Computer, and somebody that you can count on. So if you don't have him, you don't know what you're missing. Okay, sure. Do what you gotta do, and thank you very much. I see that. Glad you liked the video. I appreciate it. When This is a data table. This is an M.2 reader. I just bought this recently. It will read M.2 hard drives. Excellent thing. And a whole bunch of stuff. I have to write down. A couple things. I've seen people throw computers away because of power supply. Sad thing is they let the hard drive in with personal information still on it. Oh yeah, you know, I could tell you hundreds of stories about that, but one comes to mind. My younger brother used to live in New York, and back in the 90s, he used to go to the dump, you know, the city dump, and, you know, where they dump all your trash and junk. He used to go there and he used to find good computers. I mean, nothing wrong with them. Sometimes they just needed to be put windows back on and they'd start right up. Well, he found one time, had all the guy's financial information on it. No memory, but the hard drive is in it. I guess he thought the information was on the memory, so he took the memory out, but the information is on the hard drive, not the memory. When you shut the computer off, all the information in the memory goes away. It's only temporary, but the hard drive is what holds all your information. And I have a lot of stories about that. Some of them I really can't get into publicly. Hey, 351. 351, I don't know if you got SBA Electronics, but if you don't, make sure you add SBA Electronics. SBA, make sure you add 351 Cleveland. But yeah, it's strange how things happen like that, you know. I have so many stories, I don't know where to start. I think we'd be here all night. But I always say that if I had to tell you only one thing about computers and taking care of your computer, is if you have anything important on your computer, make sure you back it up outside of the computer. You can use an external hard drive, similar to this one. You can use a flash drive, those little ones you plug into USB, put files on. It's slower, but at least you'll have your files safer. There's a number of media you can put your information on. DVD, CD, even the cloud. But don't leave it on the computer if you're afraid of losing it. Or if you want to lose it, or you don't think you'll ever lose it, if and when you do lose it, because you never know if you're going to lose it, and it can't be back, from data recovery. Like I can't find it, or your hard drive isn't working. And to the long story, to make a long story short, is you'll have to go get somebody who does data recovery, go to a lab where they do that, and they go starting price around 200 up to like 10,000, 20,000. So just remember, the information, and that's so important that you cannot lose, needs to be off your computer. And I can tell you some horror stories. Very, very sad horror stories. I can tell you some horror stories that ended up good, but I've had customers and their baby passed away, and only pictures they had were on the computer, and if I can't get it off, they would lose it. And that has happened before. Yeah, I agree with it. 351 is kind of like a server somewhere. It's really just a computer somewhere. And I've never saved anything to the cloud. I don't even use the cloud. Um, from your Android phone, I'm realizing that things go onto the cloud without even you putting it on the cloud. That's what I'm finding out. I just bought it. Me and my wife both bought new phones a couple of days ago. And she's got so much stuff on the cloud and she never even put it there. But I don't recommend the cloud, but anything is better than leaving it on your computer, because your computer can fail at any time. You know? Oh, yeah. I've had computers where I was able to recover the data in a lot of situations. And they keep on coming out with better stuff, like this is an M.2 reader. If someone has a bad hard drive, M.2, and I could read it, this will read it. I could save their data, I could move their data. This is a SATA, USB, same thing with that. But here's another one, but this is an older one. That's when you needed two plugs to USBs to run. Now they have just one plug. So yeah, there are plenty of ways to save your data, but it's one of those things like, hey, I was going to do it. I was meaning to do it, And, we could all make that same mistake. I'm far from perfect too, But that's why I say if there's one thing that if I only had one thing to tell people in my 1,000 videos that I've made, just on YouTube alone, back up your important data off the internet, take it off your computer. That would have to be the number one thing, because everything else is repairable. I have seen people spend up until a few $1,000s to get their information. In some cases, you can get it for a few hundred if you're lucky, and data recovery can get it. But I only charge like $40 to transfer data from one hard drive to another, or from one computer to another. So don't take a whole lot of work to get a USB device and save it to that. Might you have any other? They're about all the same. SBA. I was thinking of buying another one. I like Sony. I have one of the big bulky Sonys, which I love, and I've been using it for years. It's on the shelf behind me. You may be able to see it. But it's that big thing in the right-hand corner. And that's a Sony DVD burner reader. If you don't have a CD-ROM DVD on your computer. And it works great. But now, for like 30 bucks or 25 bucks, you can buy a very little small one that hooks USB and very lightweight. It's kind of like the cell phone, you know. I had the biggest, heaviest, bulkiest cell phone, and when I do mobile service with somebody and put it in my phone holder, the thing wants to fall out, move all over the place. So I just got this phone, and it's very, very light, and that's kind of what I need. Oh, that's a good deal, yeah. And if you can get the fast shipping, that even helps. I'm gonna buy another one only because, and I sold one not too long ago to somebody for like 20 bucks, I think, or $15. It was a nice one, an external. But I always got to carry these gaming systems from outside my house in my house, and they're heavy. Hey, hello there, mother, daughter. Great to see you again. Welcome, welcome. Everybody, make sure you check out mother, daughter. She's new, very nice people. Check out that channel. And mother, daughter, check out my friends, 351 Cleveland, and electronics. So I kind of like the little lightweight one. Eventually, I think I'm going to buy me one of those too, SBA, the little light one. And the only reason really that I use them for is installing Windows. I use, a USB to install Windows, and sometimes if you have problems with your USB, you may need to use, a disk, or certain situations you may need a disk. They're good to have, especially in my line of work. And just anybody can benefit from it. Because if you realize that nowadays, most computer manufacturers are coming out with computers that don't have a optical drive. Well, like everyone, I just want one so I can. Yeah, that's another thing too, You got old games and stuff. You could throw them on there and play them. That's why some people still have a Windows XP computer around, because some games will only run on the XP or, the 98. And it's always good to have that. I used to love XP, and I wish they never even went to Windows 10, but I love, Windows 10 is very good. I'm not a big fan of Windows 11, but it is fast and it does have some good features to it. But for what I use the computer for, I could have stayed with Windows 98 if it still worked. That's the way I see it. But they keep changing things. And recently, I have a question that most people never even thought of, and it just came to my head too. Whatever happened to Windows 9? They never came out with Windows 9. What happened with that? They just skipped over from Windows 8 and they went to Windows 9. Right, SB8 is modern. It does have some stuff, but to me, less is more. When it comes to computers, because you can run a lot less stuff without having all that. If you like all the bells and whistles, you would like Windows 11. But if you're upgrading from Windows 10 to Windows 11, and you have an older computer, and you go and do the upgrades, it may tell you your computer is not compatible with Windows 11, and you have to go back to Windows 10. And I see a lot more of that happening because they want to push you to upgrade from 10 to 11. Microsoft does. But the motherboards to a lot of computers are not compatible, and they will not work with Windows 11. So that's when the problems start happening, when you start doing the updates. That's when it tells you. And if you didn't do a check before and you just went to Windows 11 from 10, you most likely didn't know that. And that's happening. I personally would rather just have Windows 10, but somebody that has a fast gaming system, mostly would want Windows 11 because it does run pretty fast. And I would say you have to shut down a lot of privacy things that are on there, just like on Windows 10. But if you want, usually a newer gaming system is going to be top end, medium to high end, and it will handle Windows 11. Well, that's when you can use it. But a lot of people are upgrading and just finding out that their computer will not work. It will not support it. So that's one thing that a very good tip that I could tell people is before you go to Windows 11, if that's what you want, make sure your motherboard is good for Windows 11, because a lot of them are not. A lot of them are not upgraded enough. Sometimes you got to do a BIOS flash, and that might not even work. So I tell people, hey, stay on Windows 10 or get a newer computer. Get a faster, more modern computer. Because on Windows 11, you're going to have problems. And they do. They have a lot of problems upgrading. So, I'm kind of from the old school. If it works, why mess with it, But people got to find out on their own way. It's kind of like the new M2 hard drives, M.2 hard drive, NVE, very fast hard drives. But here's the thing, they're not all the same speed. Now, if you look at a M.2 hard drive, and like a Samsung or a Crucial, they are going to run at pretty decent speed. But then there's other hard drives for less money that don't run that fast. So an M.2 will run like 4 times faster than the SSD hard drive will. But you have to look at the speeds before you buy them. That's the thing. They'll even go up to 7,000 bits per second speed. I think that's the fastest. So sometimes it's worth buying the cheaper one for like $5 more cheaper than buying the name brand. And most cases, I spoke to my friend who has a computer shop in my town, and he told me, Mike, look at the hard drive you want, and then look at the Samsung one, and see what the speed is on that. If it's almost the same, get the cheaper one, because it's really not worth paying the extra money if the speed's not different. And I've noticed by looking at the slower ones they're running at like 300 or 350, and the Samsungs are running at like 500. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you got to do if you don't, if you're, you know, a medium to, you know, user where you know what you're doing and stuff. Because, you know, all hard drives are not, you know, made equally. And all SSDs, it's like the older hard drives, you know, the mechanical ones. They run at 5,400 or 7,200 RPMs. So, you know, and it doesn't sound like too much of a difference, but back in the day when you're booting up Windows, it made a difference, you know, because that hard drive is going to run slower. And now people are using the 7200 mechanical hard drive as their slave and as a secondary drive, and I understand it. But if you're using an SSD as your primary drive with Windows on it, or an M.2 as your Windows primary drive, which that's if you have a newer computer, that's what everybody's doing, and that's what they're coming with is the M.2 or the SSD with Windows on it. You're going to slow down your main hard drive because you have that slower hard drive. Your buses are going to slow down, and not too many people really get that, but you know, it could mean a lot if you're gaming, you know. And I always tell people, you know, put an SSD hard drive or get a bigger M.2 drive and just have the M.2 drive as your primary drive. But a lot of people will save their data to the hard drive, and I understand it if you're going to run games and if you save the games. But you can run games without saving them, you know. I don't know why everybody has to think that they, to be a gamer, you have to save all these games on your computer. People don't have to realize that the more stuff you have on your hard drive, the slower it's going to get in time. If you have a lot of stuff on your hard drive, which you might as well just keep the stuff on an external drive, save your games to the external drive, and just use an M.2 to boot with, or an SSD drive. You could do it that way. You could save all your stuff onto an external hard drive, and you won't lose any speed. Mike, the HP brand. Well, that's another thing, SPA. Sometimes you have no choice. You have to have your games there because you might have really slow internet, and you have to boot up. But you can probably boot up just as fast with an external drive. Or just don't put too many, you know, save too many games on your primary or your secondary, and you know it should work for you. HP computers aren't bad for a computer off the shelf. Mother-daughter, they've been around for a long time, and their computers are pretty reliable. HP. The older ones parts are hard to get because, you know, people think, you know, a lot of people think, well, I have an older computer, so the parts won't cost that much like a laptop. But believe it or not, if you start searching for those parts, you'll realize if you can even find some of these older parts, they're more expensive because there's less of them, and they're obsolete, and they're hard to find. So guess what? The price usually goes up. So that's what happens with a lot of old laptops. Or they're just too old to upgrade, and they're not worth spending anything on. You know, if you have a Windows 8, I tell people forget it. You know, don't even bother. Get a new computer. You can't really upgrade that. Good evening, Isabel. Great to see you. I had an HP before. It worked good. I just got rid of it because I got water damage. Oh, I got it. Water damage. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty good off the shelf, unless you got a custom computer. Not everybody can afford a MSI or an Asus top of the line. You know, I understand that's how it is. So people probably don't even know what they are if they're new computer users. My first computer was back in 1997 or 98. My first computer was a compact Presario, and I thought that was like the cat's meow, you know. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread and apple pie. My grandmother's apple pie, you know. And boy, oh boy, we thought we really had it back then. You know, 2 gigs of RAM, 4 gigs of RAM. That was like, you know, you had a really nice computer. Who would have known that later on they were going to have 8 gigs of RAM, they were going to have 16 gigs, computers were going to take 32 gigs, and even computers are coming out with 64 gigs, so even a lot of server computers, or even more, you know. So that's one thing, technology really has changed over the years, as far as the speed goes and the performance of parts. Oh yeah, that's right. That sure would seem ancient to them people. I hear you. You know, just because, you know, now it's like, okay, Windows 10 or Windows 11, younger people never had to deal with XP and AOL, or even Windows Millennium. Imagine that with AOL. You know, you'd be on that tech support phone, and I don't mean a cell phone, I mean a wall phone, with somebody in India or Pakistan or one of these countries that claim their name is Mike or Jim or Bob, and they still do, but whatever. Trying to help you, trying to swindle you out of money, either way. Sometimes they do both. But, yeah, it was a lot harder, you know. I feel like we're the ones that paved the way because we went through a lot of that. And, you know, even my computers I use today are older computers, you know. But I keep them running and they still run good. You know, they're higher end, i7, which is still good. The generation is, you know, way back there, you know, maybe second or third generation, but with 16 memory and, you know, and a SSD hard drive, that'll keep your computer pretty honest nowadays. But you know how it was when we had 256 RAM, the hard drives were 4 gigs, you know. Oh yeah, I remember when I used to go and buy those CRTs. Big heavy monitors, you had to carry. I mean, the thing was like, you know, 40 pounds, you know, just trying to carry this thing. And don't talk about those Sony Trinity monitors, those big Sony ones, 25 inch. I mean, if you didn't have a bad back, you would have one carrying them things around. It's kind of like when you're a young kid. We had the TV that was like 400 pounds, you know. Nobody could steal it because it was in a big wood cabinet that like took up half your, you know, your living room. And we never had to worry about people breaking in the house and stealing the TV because it would take 4 guys to carry it if you could even walk with it, you know. And we had the antenna, you know, we always had the rabbit ears, or we had the, you know, the metal hammer in there, and that UFW, VFW thing where you turn it, try to get it working. So nowadays, yeah, people can, you know, steal your TV, but boy, back then, them suckers was heavy, you know. And the only remote control we had was when my father said, you know, Mike, or talking to my brother or sister, you know, put it on channel 7. You had to get up and actually put it on channel 7 because we didn't have any push button devices back then, you know. I thought it was a big thing when they came out with the Betamax and digital watch. I mean, nobody had a digital watch when they first came out. Those watches were expensive. And then before you know it, you can get a digital watch for like, you know, $8 or $12. So, yeah, times are different, you know. Back then, if your parents were on the phone or your sister was on the phone, you couldn't get online. Or if you were online, as soon as they pick up the phone, your dial-up connection would go. So you know, your call would go down. It sounded like all kinds of static when you picked up the phone, you know. And we thought we had it made, you know, back then. But, yeah. Hey, Isabel. My dad always says, see TV because he Oh, gotcha, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people did that, you know. And I never thought, like, well, I mean, to do that, but a lot of people did that. And you were like, whoa, that is something, you know. Okay, Isabel. Glad you're listening. If anybody didn't do the thumbs up, please smash that thumbs up for the live stream. I appreciate it. And everybody else does, and you know, it'll get your channel seen. People will come in here and they'll see us and they'll want to join. Yeah, that's funny, SBA, that is. My dad used to buy those TVs, those screens that used to fall off the truck, he said, you know. He come home with 2 flat screen Sonys and had a little scratch on it. He said, where'd you get that money to buy those? Because, you know, back in those days, you know, people didn't, either you were rich or you were just trying to make it. And we were like, where did you get that, you know? And he would buy these, big thing was that Sony Trinitron. And he said, oh, it fell off the truck. I got a discount on it. You know. So we had a couple of that at one time. And this is years after, you know, we grew up. This is like when we were old enough to not really want to sit there and watch TV, you know. When you're a kid, you want to watch the shows, you want to watch the cartoons, but, you know, back in the day, it was like that, you know. Most people didn't have it. I mean, we had a black and white TV until we got color. We thought that was a big deal, you know. Hey, we got the color TV, wow. It's sort of like, I look at it like this. It's sort of like when I was a kid, my father always had a boat and we used to go fishing. And I used to always be like, I want to go out myself, you know? I want to be able to drive the boat myself, bring my friends out there. My father used to always say, well, when you're 16, you can do it, you know? Not old enough. And then when you get old enough to do it, then it wasn't a big thing anymore, you know? You really didn't want to do it. Now you're interested in the girls or, you know, hanging out with your friends and other stuff. You know, we didn't want to go out in the boat anymore. We didn't really care too much about it. I think it's when you can't do, when you're not allowed to do something, it's kind of when you want to do it, you know? That's how it was. I was always like, God, I want to go out myself. I want to be, you know, I want to be the guy. But that's just how it happens. Now, I mean, now you're able to, and it's like, boy, there's a lot of commitments to have a boat. You got to clean it. You got to keep the motor running. You got to get the gas. Right, SBA, it's true. You know, it is true. But you know, like when we were young, you know, we wanted to do stuff, stay out late. You know, you can't smoke, you can't drink. You know, we used to have to get the people to buy us the beers, and we'd smoke when no one was around. Our parents didn't see us, and stuff like that. We thought that was cool. But yeah, that's, I know we got way off the subject, but, you know, that's an important thing. But remember, the topic is still, do you take care of your computer? Now, I noticed that on my live streams alone, especially my last one, I got like 65 views and like 8 people in the room. So a lot of people are watching my live streams on the repeat, you know. So that's why I always say, make sure you get the people in the group, make them your family, you know, do it the right way, do it the YouTube way, because a lot of people are going to be in here after we're gone watching this video, and that's how it always happens. It always happens like that for me lately. So make sure you check out all the channels and make them your family. Watch their videos and click the bell to all and share out the video. And my question for everybody here and also the people that are coming is, do you take care of your computer? Do you do maintenance on it? You don't have to answer it, but kind of like your car, if you every once in a while you have to change the oil, you got to change the spark plugs, your car may break down, you have to fix it, or you have to maintain it so it won't break down. Computer, electronics, you know, they work for a while and they're going to fail too, just like a car would, or a truck, or anything like that. And taking care of it along the way will make it last longer, work better, and save you money. And you don't have to be a genius to do it. All you have to do is know a few things. How to clean your temporary files, per se. How to clean your cookies, how to run disk scan, maybe how to defrag your hard drive, maybe how to remove programs you don't use in the control panel to keep your computer running good. It could be running an antivirus every now and then, running a malware or a spyware program every now and then. Could be, if it's a desktop, opening it up, unplugging it, cleaning the dust off the fans. That's an important thing because that'll make your computer run cooler, and it'll also make it last longer because it will overheat if you just leave it alone. If you're a smoker, you'll probably get a lot more dust. If you're in a dusty room, those fans could suck in a lot of dust. And if you leave your desktop on a carpet, which I don't recommend, you can get a lot of dust. So, if you're going to leave it on the carpet, put some pieces of wood down first so you have a little room, little ventilation. And yeah, bloatware is another big one. We used to call it junk files and apps, programs. You know, every computer these days comes with a lot of programs that you probably will never use or don't want. And if they're running in the background, they're using up your memory and slowing down your computer. And you know, if you don't use it, just like on my phone, you know, I'll turn it off. You know, I don't play games, so I turn off anything that has to do with games. If I was a gamer, you know, I'd want that stuff on. I would turn other stuff off. But there's a lot of things on your computer that, like privacy, for example. You buy a computer, plug it in, start using it, and don't change your privacy settings. There's a lot of things in the computer that's going to slow it down. Some settings you need to turn off, especially in Windows 10 and 11. Like setting Microsoft, different things, letting Microsoft, you know, monitor your computer. And I don't know if people know it, but sometimes Microsoft will use people's computers just to, you know, boot off of a computer. In other words, they might use someone's computer in a nearby area to get like a better signal. So, remove the social media scan. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, I hear you. Not only will it speed up your computer by removing that stuff, you know, you won't get the people irritating you, and you won't have those programs popping up all the time and slowing your phone down and your computer. So, you know, I use social media, but there's other things that I don't keep running, and I try to shut them off. And I do have some videos if people want to check them out. But bloatware is very common. And you just have to realize, you know, ask yourself, what programs am I using? What programs do I not need or not want? If you're not sure, then I would say leave it alone or look it up, do a search on the web. But if you have programs running, things running in your task manager or your startup, or, you know, your CPU is running, you know, taking too much of your resources, you know, you can click that off, you know, and get back a lot of your resources. So a lot of times, you know, less is more. And I notice that on computers. Now, if you have a really fast computer, you might not need to do this stuff as much, but believe it or not, no matter what kind of computer you have, you're going to get all this stuff. I saw some apps that said Intel, and I didn't remember them because I think of the process. Yeah, you could always look it up, you know. And sometimes when you run ScanDisk, and you click that thing that says hide all Microsoft programs, sometimes you'll get a message saying not all Microsoft programs are hidden. So you have to be careful that you're not removing something that is part of your computer. How you doing there, Spritz? Welcome. Nice to see you. Spritz, new viewer. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you stopped by. We have Spritz here. As long as you're not a troll, you're good with us. We have Mother-Daughter Duo. Everybody check out Mother-Daughter Duo. We have SBA. We have Spritz. We have SBA Electronics. We have my good buddy Isabel and my other friend, 351 Cleveland. So, everybody's welcome, and we are glad to have everybody. And we talk about computers, and we try to shout out your channel on here, and we try to get people connected with each other, because that's what it's about if you want to grow your YouTube channel. Or if you're on YouTube, I always try to have people connect to you and become family with your channel, and hopefully you'll become family with their channel. So that's what it's about. That's how you grow on YouTube. Make friends, watch some great videos. This room, we always have really good people coming in that have good channels, that know about YouTube, and they're good supporters. So you really need good supporters when you're trying to build a YouTube channel, because good supporters are going to help you, and you can help them in return. If you're always watching people's videos, supporting them, and they're not doing anything back, that's not a good supporter. You need people that are going to watch your videos. You need people that are going to, add your channel, and then other people on their channel are going to notice you, and that's how you grow, and vice versa. So whatever you want done to you, do that to others. That's a good way to look at it as far as channel goes, and YouTube in general. So, yeah, we're glad to have any new people that are come in the room. Mike's Computer Tips. Any kind of computer questions you have, you can always ask in the room. We always have good people in here. We have new people. We have people that are knowledgeable also. So we have a variety of people. And that's it. That's how we do it. We like to do things the YouTube way, and you have to do it right if you want to grow it the right way. And 6 total live viewers right now. Okay. Sounds good. So anybody that didn't do the thumbs up, please do the thumbs up for the live stream. If you could share it out, bring people in, comment, make sure you check everybody's channel out, make sure you hit that bell notification and put it to all. That way you won't miss anybody's video. When they come out with a video, you will be notified, and you can check out their video. That's how we do it the YouTube way. I do get a lot of people that watch my live streams, and I'm not sure how long they leave it on, but sometimes I'll go back and be like, whoa, 40-something people. And I'll go back later, it's like 60 people. It's like, wow, a lot of people are coming later. Maybe I should do a preview and say, I'll be on here next week, when I do my live streams, they're kind of sporadic. I usually just say, okay, I'm going to do a live stream, and then I'll start doing it. You know, put on the phone, put on the cam. I haven't done any lately on my computer, but I just got my new phone, so I'll probably be doing a few more on here. But we always glad to have people in here. We're going on almost an hour, which is pretty awesome. The first live stream I did a couple days ago, it was 2 hours long. The one I did the other day was an hour and a little bit more. So this one, I think it'll be an hour, and pretty soon I'll do another one, either tonight or tomorrow, or another hour, or the day after. See how things go. But I usually like to keep them for an hour. If I'm not really tired, then I'll keep them for like 2 hours, which is awesome. And like I said, I'm always glad to have everyone. And Spritz, yeah, we're check everybody out, and make friends, watch video, and everybody will do the same to you. And if your friends need computer advice, or your family needs computer advice, or anybody you know, they can always come to this room. And I'm 351. I'll talk to you later, my friend. And they can always come here, and we will help them if they need it. Any questions, any comments, any concerns. What I always tell people is keep making content, try to get better at it, make videos, and post some videos, and join a couple social medias, Like I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Don't be afraid to join a couple of them, and that'll be good, Get yourself out there. The more you get yourself out there, you will be glad you did. Oh, good, SBA. Sounds good. Now, if you leave me a comment, I'll come and check out. Just leave me a comment. Oh, that's great, Spritz. Then I have all your change here. Yeah, do that, and I'll just, add you if you're not added. And that's really how I add people, is when they leave me comments. Usually I add them and check them out. So I gotta run some videos tonight. I have a few people that I have to check out their videos. And now I have you guys, so I am going to end this video and the live stream. Mike's Computer Tips here, and God bless everyone. Thank you for coming. All that good stuff. Keep growing your channel. Keep following me. Let's support each other. Thank you for coming. Love all you guys. Thank you, thank you. That's good. Bye-bye.